Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if this is your first time here, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. Today we're going to be getting into a reading wrap up for the month of May. I actually finished more books than I expected to, considering coming out of April I was in a bit of a reading slump, and really my goal was to finish up the books that I had started in like March and at the beginning of April, and I did that plus some. Love that for me. I did finish 5 books, 2 physical and 3 on my Kindle, and let's just hop right into them and what I thought. So we're gonna hop into the books that I completed on my Kindle this month, starting with me finishing a series that I've been reading since probably the beginning of March, and that is Filthy Rich Vampires book 4. I believe it's called For Eternity. I'll have a picture of it up here. And I started with this book because there's not really much I can say about it. It's the last book of the series. What I can say is now that I have finished it and have given myself time to just let my feelings soak in about how I feel about the series as a whole, I will say that looking back, I can appreciate how different storylines were set up, how things came about. I do think that the timeline of the story overall happened very quickly, but I think you get lost in the timeline of the story because of how much stuff happens. The books are chock full of drama, of conflict constantly being thrown at our main characters. The two characters figure out how to work together and get to the ending that they want. There is no quick resolution to anything. This is definitely a series that you're not going to want to read book 1 and then put it down and wait months before getting book 2. And I think that's why it took me so long to finish book 4, because I read books 1 and 2 very quick. I got through half of book 3 fairly quickly, and then I kind of rushed through the end, but I stopped like 15% in of book 4, and there was a month in between time when I wasn't reading it. So it did take me a little bit of time to get back into it, just because you forget what happens in the other books. So this is definitely something that you want to read back to back, but I enjoyed my time in each one of the books. As long as you, as the reader, are okay with just not knowing things and finding out when the characters do, then you should have a good time. I mean, you have vampires. What more can you ask for, right? So the next book I'm going to talk about is Jagger by Octavia Jensen. I believe that's correct. Again, picture will be here. This was a short, little sweet and spicy novella, and it was one that popped up on my Instagram. Like, I saw a quote from it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read that. After I finished that book, I did find out that there are more books in the series that follows the main male character's friends from this book, and I do want to pick them up. This, I will say, yes, I would call it insta-lovey. I was going to say maybe it's not insta-lovey, but it is insta-lovey. It is very spicy, and it's definitely a hate to lover situation. Well, how do you say insta-lovey and then hate to love in the same sentence? Stick with me. At the beginning of this book, they really do not like each other. The cataclysmic event that brings them together causes them to hate each other. But you see very quickly, and the reason why I think I call it like insta-lovey is because it's a novella. The book takes place maybe over 3 weeks, if that. I want to say there's a love declaration at the end of this. I feel like there is. So that to me feels insta-lovey. But they do start out hating each other, or just really strong disliking. I would say hate. For it to be such a short book, I feel like the author put this together really good. I did not feel like anything was dragged out. I laughed out loud. The spice was really good. I don't really think, the only thing that I found cringe was, I feel like the main male character kind of kept referring to, like, when he would talk to the female main character, he would say like bro, or like, and that, like, that irks me. Don't refer to the female main character as bro. That's so not cool. I didn't like that. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. It's a good time. It's a short, sweet, good time. And then the last book that I read in May on my Kindle was Getting It On with the Gaw Girl by Hazel Mack. It is a short novella length book, and this follows Thea, who her and her sisters stumble up on a magical town full of monsters. Thea is a triplet, and so all three sisters are there, and they find out about themselves. And this book specifically follows Thea and Shepherd. Shepherd is the gargoyle, and I will say overall, I really enjoyed this book. It gave me that cute, like, small town feel. Again, there was a lot of like rom-com-y, laugh out loud moments. I think it's more of a fated mate situation. Again, there's not a lot that I can give away from this book because it is so short, but what I can tell you is, like I said, I had a really good time. Now, I did have a couple of icks in this book, and that was mainly in the spicy scenes. Not that the spicy scenes were bad, but just some of the terminology that was used are things that I don't particularly care for in books, especially like when you're referring to parts. We want to use words that just don't make you go, ooh, that was a choice. And so there were a few things like that, but there were a lot of cute moments in this book. It's definitely giving a found family situation. And it's just, overall, I can see where the author is building up for a larger story across the books that are to come in this series. Now, I do think that I will continue the series, but it is not a high priority for me at the moment. It really did what I needed to do, which was just like, give me something quick to get through and to enjoy and to laugh with, and so I'll be forever grateful for that. I would say if you want something quick that is like paranormal, small town, sweet, with a little side of spice, I would definitely say pick this book up. And so now we have gotten to the portion where I'm going to talk about the physical books that I finished in the month of May, starting with Delilah Green Doesn't Care. This was my first sapphic romance, and I really did have the best time following Claire and Delilah. I loved how the story was put together. I love what brought these two together, like why Delilah was going back home. In my last reading vlog, I did talk about the things that kind of upset me when it came to this book, and upset is a really strong word to use. More like the things that I just didn't mesh with, and that pertained more to Claire and some things that happened in her storyline. Now that I have taken a step back and had time to let this book kind of like soak in, I still feel the same about Delilah. I really, really enjoyed her character. I enjoyed the growth that I think that we saw from her. I liked the setup, and I loved how things didn't feel rushed. Everything that happened felt like it happened when it needed to. And I mean, the plot was giving. The spice was there. It did what it needed to do as far as the story goes. And overall, I really enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to get into the next one. It's actually on my TBR for this month. I would 1000% say give this book a try if you've not read sapphic romance and this will be your first one. I think this is a good jumping point. And yeah, it's overall a good romance book, and I was very happy with it. I don't know if Ashley Herring Blake has written anything else outside of this Bright Falls series. I'll have to look that up, but I would be interested in reading more of her work outside of this series. So we shall see. And then the last book that I read in the month of May not the last book. It was actually the first book that I finished, but the last book I'm going to talk about that I finished in the month of May is Minx. And I have a vlog of me reading this, so I'm not going to like gush way too much about it, but I thoroughly enjoyed this book. As you can see, she's all tabbed up, got my highlights and my underlines going all throughout this book. I'll be honest, when I picked this book up, I had a completely different thought of where we were going. And this book gave me so much more that I could ask for. I think because my expectation was at a certain level, this rose to it and above the expectation that I had for this book. And I am grateful because number one, it broke my reading slump. I really enjoyed the topics that were covered in this book, as far as like not allowing your past to define who you are in the future and what kind of life that you have. And while yes, the spice was good, it was spicy, it was frequent, but it was done, I think, in a great way. But I think there was so much more that this book had to offer than just the spice. It gave me literally everything that I needed. I feel like in my vlog I said there were things like as I was reading where I was saying like, ooh, I would like to see more of this, I would like to see more of that, and I got it. By the end of this book, I was not left wanting more. I feel like it wrapped up perfectly. It's under 300 pages. It was a quick, nice read to get me back into the reading mode, and again, grateful for this because it helped me. So I will be picking up more Sophie Lark, and yeah, Minx. It was very good. If you want a good spicy time, read this. All right, that is all the books that I finished in the month of May. 5, again, I'm still shocked just because going into May, I was like, I just don't know. I don't know where we're going here, but I did get those finished and I was very happy. Overall, like I said, I feel like I had a really good reading month. So if you made it this far in the video, leave me the cat emoji for Minx. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, I implore you to hit the subscribe button and don't miss any other uploads that I have come into this channel. And if you like the content that I'm providing here, make sure you share so all that of your friends and followers and other subscribers can find me and my content. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.